Sometimes the biggest reinvention doesn't come from a plan. It comes from a moment that changes everything. Life be lifing.
Exactly. And in this episode, you're going to hear what it really looks like to start over after loss, after setbacks, and after life tells you that it's too late.
From corporate leadership and community impact to building a business rooted in purpose, passion, and what she calls her baking ministry.
Okay, let's take it back.
Let's take it back. Welcome to the Flashback Squad. This is the podcast where we revisit the moments that shaped us, the music that moved us, and the memories that still make us smile. My name is Sabrina Horton.
And I'm Laura Rosario. And if you love stories about the moments behind the culture, the music, the media, and the memories we all share to make you smile, make sure that you subscribe, you like, and you comment and share. And come take this ride down memory lane with us.
Yes, please do that because around here we don't do tell alls or gossip.
We do flashbacks.
Our guest today is a true example of reinvention, resilience, and purpose.
Yes, she is. And she's an entrepreneur, community leader, vocalist, and founder of Lura's Kitchen, a gourmet baking brand rooted in love, tradition, and what she calls her baking ministry.
From corporate and community relations to serving as president of the historic Our Authors Study Club in Los Angeles, like it might be nationwide, preserving culture, history, and storytelling.
Her journey is one of transformation, turning life's challenges into something meaningful, powerful, and lasting.
Please welcome everybody to the Flashback Squad, Lura Ball.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
You're welcome. Well, we're going to start off with something really cool and really hits the theme of our show, flashback. So see if you remember this, Laura and Sabrina.
Welcome back to Frankly Female as we celebrate African American History Month. We have with us Sabrina Horton, and you're going to Cal State Long Beach, right. My alma mater. Put that in there. And Shantae Morgan from Cal State Northridge, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to Frankly Female. And Laura Daniels Ball with the Chords Brewing Company.
Right.
You put something together that's very special called Ebony Treasures, and it's a calendar, a calendar.
So can you tell us a little bit, you both, about what's going on here?
What is going on?
Well, what's going on is I had the privilege of starting a mentor program for 100 Black women in Los Angeles. I think we have 400 young women. And I was lucky enough to have Sabrina and Shantae as my mentees. And of course, enterprising as they were, they decided to put together a calendar of some of the most beautiful young men from the college campuses. And so we were on talking about that calendar that they did to raise monies for scholarship. And we did everything from the shooting to the promotion and everything. So it was quite a program. Yeah, very proud of them.
Do either you or Sabrina, which I would love, and I'm sure our audience would too. Does anybody have that calendar?
Yeah, somewhere, in my garage.
Where'd you guys get the cuties? I could see just a little bit on this shot right here.
It was a co-ed calendar, so it was 6 guys and 6 girls.
Okay.
And
you see how quickly I forgot about the girls.
Yeah.
But they did a recruitment on the college campuses.
Okay.
Yeah, they were selected from Southern Cal. It was called. What was it called? Oh, what was it called?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it either, but it was
Ebony Treasures.
Yes.
Ebony Treasures.
Mm-hmm.
Ebony Treasures.
That's what it was. And so we had folks from UC Santa Barbara, UCLA, USC, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State LA. Shantae and I were the lucky ones who were Laura's mentees that year.
Wait, before you go on, I love that hairstyle. It's so cute. Remember back in the day, everybody was wearing that hairstyle?
Yeah.
They were so young.
Innocent. It's so young. So cute.
Shout out to my friend Eric Bland, who Used to do my hair back then.
Aw, okay. And then you had mentioned Shantae. Before we go on, you could tell us a little bit. Okay, so you and Shantae, were you roommates, Sabrina?
Mm.
Or did you meet through Laura
No,
or
we met
that group?
through Laura. We met through Laura at Laura's office. It was in Cerritos, right, Laura?
Right.
Your
Yes.
office?
Yeah. My office is in Cerritos. I had 14 states, but our office, I had the Western region, so, but our office was in Cerritos.
Yeah. And we got to come to work with her every day during spring break. And so that's when we met. But, there's so many other tons of opportunities that I could name so many of them that Laura took us everywhere, introduced us to so many people. We went to Magic Johnson's Midsummer Night Classic, the gala and All-Star Game. Spike Lee was the coach, and I think Arsenio Hall was the other coach, and Michael Jordan
Wow.
was playing. This Laura
You guys
double.
had the big guns there.
Oh yeah, Laura was not to be played with.
Laura, look at your cute little young face there.
I know, huh? A long time ago. Yeah, but when you have ambitious young women that are ready to learn, and you see their promise, you just want to give them everything, because you never know how long you're going to have that position. To be able to to do things and to pour into them. So just do what you need for the next generation, and they've all gone, as you can see, to do wonderful things. Shantae's a PhD now, also pouring into the next generation and doing her work as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's a professor at, is it Occidental? We'll have to get that information.
Yeah, I forget which one it is, but she's gone. Yeah, but she's gone on to do incredible work. Still doing incredible work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sabrina, is that what it would encourage you? Your experience with Laura, being a wonderful mentor, is that what helped you to decide you wanted to be a mentor? Because as you already know, Laura, she's a wonderful mentor to all of her mentorees. Was Laura
I had the perfect pattern to follow after. I mean, of course, I want to do as much as I can for the younger, whatever, Generation X, no, we're X, sorry. For those in their 20s and such and teenagers, that she did for us. I mean, I got, Laura, do you remember you sent me in your place to attend a Moby conference in New York?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, like who, that was, to go to New York and in the place. And it was that also, just so you know, that was in 1992. And it took place on the day that the Rodney King riots broke out.
Mm-hmm.
So always, remember that whole incident. I think, was that my first time to New York? I think that was my first time to New York too. And what else? The Bill Pickett Rodeo, the Jazz Festival, all these things Laura was very instrumental in because she played a major role in being a sponsor, for Chords to be a sponsor.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But I have to say that it was in their DNA to be to pay it forward. So I can't take all that credit. It was in their it's in their DNA to do that. So that wasn't hard to plant the seeds.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so now that little surprise, as you talked about it, all that, we can move on to some other questions. So Laura, when people look at you now, they see a business owner. What did your life look like before Laura's Kitchen?
Well, when people look at me now, they're surprised because they don't know all the different aspects of my life. So, for instance, I just did the PR for the world premiere of the W.E.B. Du Bois documentary. And so people walk up and go, what are you doing here doing that? Because they may know me as a singer, or they may know me as Laura's Kitchen, or they may see me singing and say, like, I didn't know you sang, so there's so many different aspects of me. So people are constantly being surprised, or when they see me giving a speech, they're like, oh, I didn't know that you could give speeches, just because I'm really kind of low key about who I am and what I've done. People are constantly surprised. I was recently looking at my life because I've been questioning if I've made an impact. And I had to look and say, I guess I have made an impact. So what was my life before Laura's Kitchen? It was challenging because I had survived 3 or 4 downsizings. My husband had gotten really sick, really ill. We had used up all of our life savings with his illness and everything. We were just in a tough situation. The mortgage, we were battling to keep our house and everything. And you're just trying to take care of things. And I lost my husband and what have you. So you say, okay, so what do I have? Okay, so you just look at what do you need to survive. And so you look at your skill sets and you go from there. So what was my life before? It was being a mom, being a wife, being a caretaker, and still wanting to make a difference. And so I had to pull myself together and say, okay, So how are you gonna manage the second half of your life? And so you pull
Oh,
your skills, you pull your skill sets together and say, okay, baking ministry now has to be a business. So I knew about business, I knew marketing and all this other stuff. So let me just go on and put this business together,
oh, I
And so
love that.
that's what it was like before, and a commitment to being very narrow about what I want to be committed to: family, church, my business, and history. And so those are really the things that kind of guide me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that
I,
one of the, oh, go on.
I would say, because I was going to ask you, our next, prepared question is, if you could describe your life in one word before this new chapter. I mean, that's probably really hard, because what I was thinking is, the new term multi-hyphenate. That's definitely you, Lura.
Yeah, I consider myself a concierge,
That's a good
because
one.
I consider myself a concierge. People come to me to solve problems. You come to me and I can either tell you exactly what to do or connect you with someone that can help you with it. And so I like to consider myself as a life concierge, because there's so many different things that have been poured into me over my lifetime, and so many different places of knowledge. And the gifting is that I know how to research. I know how to figure out things. I'm a planner. I'm a planner doer, so I kind of know how to map things. I have what I call a mind's eye that can see the end process and how to get to that. So I consider myself a concierge of sorts. And again, having giftings, sometimes it's a curse to have giftings in in different areas, because I tell people all the time that I'm a diva trying to get out, because I'm a performer at my base, and I have to control that when I'm in environments that don't allow for a diva moment, and I want to have a diva moment. Okay.
So you mentioned like lots of those, like the challenges that you had prior to Laura's Kitchen, and you were going through some changes, you were going through loss, you were just going through so much. What was the moment that actually, like, when that changed everything for you, that made you feel like, how you mentioned that you decided, okay, I need to make Laura's Kitchen into a ministry. Was there a
Well,
one moment,
well,
or
the
was it everything?
Well, the ministry had been happening for years, because
Okay.
I always, whenever I would go somewhere, I would either leave cookie dough or I would send cookie mixes. So that was already in place. The formula for the products and everything was already in place. And somebody at church that loved a chocolate cake with yellow, a chocolate frosting and a yellow cake, that for their birthday or whatever. I just love doing things that you can't buy. Okay, so you couldn't pay me to do tea cakes. I would gift them to someone for a special occasion or whatever. So the ministry had been happening for several years or what have you. And where the work came in was trying to find the co-packer, because see, I wasn't going to be in somebody's kitchen standing up baking all day. Okay, I needed to figure out the mechanism, how to scale up, how to get the product done, how to get the packaging done, all those things that I knew from corporate. So I need to figure that out. And so it took me a while, because nobody wanted to deal with small batch. And but just even having the knowledge of knowing that I needed distribution, I needed a co-packer, I needed these relationships.
Wow.
And it took a while,
Really,
because nobody
what
wanted
a
to deal.
co-packer is,
Yeah, and nobody wanted to deal with what we call small batch, which is like 1,000 packages. People wanted to deal with 10,000, 20,000, and what have you. So it took a while to get that done. And then also I started out with cookie dough, and then COVID quickly changed that. And so I said, well, I've done my dry mixes. So the question is, how do I ship dry mix when I use my proprietary liquid vanilla? And when I called the people that I normally use, I said, oh, we can make that for you in a dry formula. I'm like, oh, okay. So so it's just going through kind of that process. So the baking ministry still exists, because for those people that I want to do something special for, I do bake for them. Okay. And but it's a gifting from my heart. My baking comes from my heart, because a lot of people think I love baking. I do not. I don't, but I love gifting. I love doing for people. So it's in the doing. The baking is just a way for me to do for other people. Okay.
Well, I have to say though that the oatmeal cookies.
Yeah, that's Lionel's favorite. That was the Jerry Spicy oatmeal. All of my cookies have a backstory. They were created for someone or for an event.
And they're named after people too, right?
Yes, yeah. They're named after, so like Jerry Spice oatmeal cookies, my dear's tea cakes, Langston's No Nonsense chocolate chip. So they're all named after or for someone.
Now, what about this one?
Cookies.
Well, I asked Cookie if she would do an endorsement for me, and if she would bake the cookies or whatever. So this is her when she baked I think she did the Langston's tea cakes. I mean the Langston's chocolate chip cookies. So she baked them. And it was funny, because it took her a while to get to it. And so someone called and said, Cookies on did a post about your cookies. I said she did. When? And so, because it had been a while, and so she did she did a video too of it. So it was really nice when
That's
she did that.
right. Yeah, I remember that video.
Yeah,
Aw.
I had helped her with her book tour. And so I'd asked her if she would do it. She's, oh, certainly. So, but she's, I'm not sure when I can get to it. So I said, no problem. So yeah, so that was really nice.
That is really nice. And those cookies look so good.
Oh yes, they
Yeah.
are. They are so good.
Well, see, the whole thing is that I do the mixes, and so it's like gourmet cookies in 30 seconds or less. Just add eggs and butter, and that's basically what I do is the mixes. And every once in a while, I do a special promo with the cookies that cannot be done in a mix, like the sweet potato cranberry and the coconut pecans. I'll do those at a very limited time because it's very time consuming doing the baked cookies on any particular volume.
Do you happen to do vegan or gluten free? I'm just asking for myself because I want to make
I do have a gluten free that's in the line.
Okay.
Gluten free. The tea cake's gluten free. And the and then I have you can make the tea cakes vegan just by adding vegan butter and eggs. You can't do the chocolate chip because obviously the chocolate, but you could actually swap out the chocolate chips for a vegan chocolate chip if you like.
Okay, so just substitutes.
Yes. So we're looking at the better for you brands because that's how they're trending. But I was telling somebody the other day, I said, you'd be surprised how the market research shows that people really want a full flavored cookie when they're eating cookies. They want a full flavor cookies. But now also the trends are showing that people are not buying from online and they're not buying from storefronts. The next wave is going to be where people are moving to next. So everywhere like casinos or airports, grocery stores, that's going to be where you want to be in the grab and go section. That's 11 billion grab and go cookie market. So my next thing is trying to find financing so I can get with this one particular co-packer I'd like to do with for my grab and go product. So that's the next thing is trying to find financing so I can get with that particular co-packer. I love my co-packer for my mixes and my food service. They're out in Nebraska, but I really want to get the grab and go. I've got some people that want my grab and go, but I've got to get a co-packer specifically for that.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Sending
this
good
is
energy.
so positive. Everything here is wonderful, and you always have been a very optimistic person. But was there ever a time you felt like giving up completely, and what kept you going?
Well, there's been a lot of times I felt like giving up. There, at USC with the Black alumni, even to this day, I felt like Black people gave up on me with everything that I did for USC. Black people abandoned me, and the white people took me in and took care of me. That was a major break, and I'm still bruised behind that.
Can you expand a little bit? Well, not too long because we have so much that we want to go through. But what do you mean that they abandoned you, though? Because I really, what did that look like?
It looked like total abandonment. Basically, I guess for self-promotion. I basically rebuilt the Black Alumni Association at USC, and there came a time where folks that I helped accused me of things, and I was let go erroneously. My brother advised me to stay away. They did some things to try to save face, but the Black folks that I took care of, got their children into schools and what have you, they chose not to honor my lifetime commitments, my scholarships, and just tried to erase everything I did and take credit for a lot of stuff that I did. And it was just very, they erased the 9 endowments that I established, and it just I can't begin to tell you how crazy it was. So, but that's really painful. And then
so it wasn't the whole Black race. That's what I wanted to say. So it wasn't because I was
no, it wasn't the whole Black.
Yes,
it wasn't. No, it wasn't the whole Black race. Okay. It wasn't the whole Black race. And then recently, I've just been so disappointed with our Black folks because we've just been lulled into this, complacency about ourselves and our history. Mm-hmm. And just recently going through our Black History Month this year, and then see being with Coors Brewing Company, and at the level that I was at, I was able to see our quote unquote Black heroes and elected officials. And my naivete went out the window, so I had to become a keeper of secrets of personalities because the masses adored some of these people that were just in it for themselves. And so that really broke my confidence in a lot of people. So when you see what folks are really like, and you have to hold your tongue because you have to measure that against what's best for your people, that was a break. And then recently, this year, just going through dealing with the city and folks with Black History Month, and knowing that Black history is on the line, and how they're not committed to making sure that we're funded and everything, has been really hard. And I had to call a friend and tell them that I actually broke in the middle of that. And they're like, "What do you mean by that?" And I had to have them talk me through a moment, because it was so between the volunteers that didn't want to show up. They only wanted to show up for the pictures. They didn't want to show up for the work. And I think about the women and the men that did all the work for us to be here in these spaces, and we can't show up for the work. And it was just so intense that one night I just broke. And someone said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "I can't explain except that it was like, the movie Get Out, and when he's in that space, it was like I descended into a space and I wasn't connected. And if you understand, for me, everything is in my mind's eye. And so I was disconnected from my vision. I was disconnected from my passion, disconnected from my values. I literally broke. I said, I can't explain it any other words. But I knew, because of faith and because of people around me, I knew that I had to call someone.
Because support systems are so important, our support systems. God, obviously, God first, and then our support, the person that you call that helped you, that talked you through that.
Yeah, so even warriors need, they need something,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I love that. Rewind that one more time. Say that again.
And we have to, even warriors. There's a song I sing, "The Warrior is a Child," but
can you sing a phrase? Can you sing a phrase?
Sometimes warriors get wounded in the fight, but even people say that I'm amazing, strong beyond belief. But I can't remember the words. You don't know that I come running home when I fall down. They don't know who picks me up when I fall down. I can't remember all the words.
Thank you, though. I love that.
I'm sorry, I can't remember all the words, but
that's okay.
But the warrior is a child, but it's just, you have to just make sure somebody's there when you fall, because I think that's what happens when people don't have anyone, and they don't have the faith to kind of keep them from going all the way down. And so that's that's part of it. That's part of it. That's part of it.
Thank you. And we're going to skip all the way now to a whole other section.
Okay.
Later, though, if you can sing just a little bit of your favorite hymn or something that you would love to share with us to inspire or invoke, positivity. But right now, because I love your voice, and we were so blessed to hear that.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to keep trudging along here. So your position at Chords, was that your first position after graduating from USC?
Oh, no. I was at, I graduated and went into School of Performing Arts in the music department, making $3.30 an hour.
Whoa.
$6,600 a year. Okay. Okay. Can you imagine that? That was in 1970.
Oh, okay.
1979.
But still, that was at USC, one of the highest ranking private institutions in the country.
Yeah, but the salaries back then, Yeah. And then from there, I actually, I was working with Chords on a fundraiser, and the job came up, and when they called me about it, I had to call my father, who's a union worker, because Chords had union issues, and ask him if I can take the job, and he said, "Why do you think we've been working so hard?" So that's when I took the job. And it's really funny because apparently a lot of people had interviewed for that job, and so they were like, "Well, who are you to get this job?" Because they didn't know me in the community, And so I was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
Lura, that was during the boycotts, though, right? And also,
basically, I helped to solve the boycott. Yeah, wow. So that's when. Yep. So that's in my resume, and I was out. I don't know if you remember the Latasha Harlan case. I was out in the streets with the Justice Department, working with, because we had a lot of Koreans in their own stores. We had that whole problem where I worked with the Korean Grocers Association. I worked with the with MAGA, the Mexican American Grocers Association. So we did a whole lot of diversity way before this diversity stuff came up. What's different now is diversity and inclusion, because they were getting the numbers, but nobody was rising up. and stuff. But we did all of that work and got them in good stead. And then, they started collapsing. Everybody started buying one another and stuff. But we did some really great work
What
in
was
the
your
community.
title, though? You didn't mention the title.
Well,
What was
I
the title
started
at?
I started out as field manager, and then I moved up to business unit manager for California and Hawaii.
Wow. Okay.
And the interesting thing is, the Latino brothers. Oh gosh, the men had it so easy. They got away with everything. The secretaries did their timesheets, everything. Okay, and everything was so hard on the women. Well, I was the only woman on the West Coast, and even there's a Latino brother. He left and went to Anheuser-Busch and got laid off. And I talked my boss into bringing him back. And do you know that he had nerve to when the position came open for the business manager unit. He had nerve to sit in front of me and tell me that I shouldn't have the job, not because I wasn't qualified, but because I wasn't Latino, and California was Latino.
Oh!
And this is the man. This is the man with 7 kids that I helped get him back at course. And I said, but I'm the most qualified. He said, it has nothing to do with it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. That was the mentality.
Went to the competition. They brought him back because of your.
Yeah, and he knows it. They brought him back because my boss brought him back because of me, and he knew that. But he could sit in front of me and tell me that with no problem. Okay, no problem. And see, they loved it because we had all the fun stuff. Because we had Jeffrey before Whitney. I don't know if you remember that. Was it really when we had Whitney and Jeffrey? Because Whitney used to open for Jeffrey. He
Jeffrey
put her
Osborne,
on his.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Osborne. Because he was part of our stable, and Whitney used to open for Jeffrey before she blew up. And before she blew up.
Wow. So because you managed and you also saw the sponsorship of something like 1,000 events.
Yep. We had Danny Glover. We had Climax. I'm trying to remember all these groups. I can't remember all the different groups that we had in our stable. We had all the fun
Vanessa
stuff.
Williams. She was.
We have Vanessa Williams, who act like she don't know me. I used to bring all the actors on the way up to all the events so they get exposure. Denzel was one of them. Denzel act like he don't ever know me. It's just really funny how people on their way up, they kind of forget the people that kind of help them, whatever. But yeah, they'll be like, oh yeah, because back then I guess they just don't remember. And I never put a tag on them, or anything like that, But it's amazing. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
I don't regret it. I don't regret it though, because my thing was it's an open table. If I've got opportunity, instead of having my family at the table, if I can have a young actor there to get exposure or whatever, then that's it's to me it was better for you to be there, to be networked, to be seen, and what have you. That to me that made more sense. Yeah.
Well, despite the amnesia of some people, man. Despite that, sometimes we can feel like it's too late to start over or even, to keep going. Is there something that you would say to someone else that might, have experienced this type of, amnesia or, just this type of the blatant,
selective amnesia?
Well, I say starting over has to be with purpose. To be honest, I started over out of necessity. I'd lost Lionel, who is still so hard almost 10 years later to believe that I'm in this part of my life without him. I'd lost Lionel, and you got to take a hard look at, what am I still supposed to be here to do? So starting over really needs to be purpose driven. And I would give anything to have all the money that my friends have so I could go on these cruises I see them going on and go to Africa and what have you. But that's not my journey. So what I would say to anybody that's looking to start over is to really do an assessment of what's going to be purposeful for them, because they're not going to be happy unless they are striving towards a goal and a purpose, and unless it's something that fulfills them, that uses the skills and what have you that they have. So so that's what. So when I get upset or whatever, I know that I've got church. I know I've got my grandkids. I've got other places where I can go to have some joy, because you got to have some joy. Because if you don't have, as Black people, we're joyful people. And if we don't have our joy, we are a sad sack.
Yes.
So you have us, Laura. You have Laura, and you have me. We are here for you. Absolutely, 100%.
And Laura, what do you consider your biggest fear? Like when you were first thinking, okay, I have to be an entrepreneur now at this point in my life. What was your biggest fear entering into that?
The biggest fear is just funding.
Mm.
Finding the right funding, because I've got
Yes.
the pitch, I've got the products, just the right connections and getting the funding and getting, convincing someone to take me on. Because I've got, like I said, I've got the pitch, I've got the connections, I've got the wherewithal, but just the funding is always the biggest issue with entrepreneurs, is trying to find the funding, and getting that big gig, that one big distribution can get you going in my particular industry. And then I'm challenged because, as Sabrina knows, I hate networking.
I couldn't tell. I could not tell.
I hate,
I would
well,
never say that.
well, you should know, I don't like going out and networking. I really don't. But if I have to, you wouldn't have been able to tell yesterday, because I forced myself at the MBE conference I was at. I forced myself to to go up or whatever. But I'm challenged. There's so many events I need to be at here in LA, just to get my brand out and everything. And I just really hate it. So, but that's something that you have to do as an entrepreneur, because they need to know you, they need to know your brand and what have you, and it's just places that you need to show up and be there. So
how do you push yourself past that? I don't want to go.
I have to talk myself into it and say, girl, put on your big girl panties and get out there. Okay. And I have to plan it. I have to, if I don't put it down and plan it, then it's not going to happen. So I have to I literally have to talk myself into it. You need to do this. You need to be there. You need to do this, and then I know how to talk to people. And, we went through media training. So, you gotta, there's certain things that you want to make sure that you get across to people. So, you have a one-track mind, certain things that you want to do. And those are the things that you want to bring up to people, as you're talking. You want to make sure you introduce, you make sure they know what you do, and you want, I hate carrying business cards, but you want to find a way to connect to people and stuff like that. If there's a potential to do business, if there's not a potential to do business, you want to make sure you have an out. That's polite, because I don't believe in collecting business cards for no reason.
Okay, let me go talk to this person over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Laura, in your experience though, why do you think more people don't choose themselves first? You know what I mean? To do whatever it is they're called to do or be, or.
Well, we're not, I don't believe that we're taught, especially in the Black community, we're not taught to self-evaluate. We're taught to be worker bees. Okay. And we're really not taught to self-evaluate and make an assessment. It's not till you really go into either some business program or school in some business program or whatever that you actually do a personal assessment of yourself and identify your skills and then have those skills valued. Because that's the other thing too, because a lot of times people will take your skills and say, they're like a talking skill. You talk too much. Or, as opposed to looking at that as being somebody that might be a great salesperson, or somebody that might be a great convener, or somebody that might be, great for pitching something, or a great orator. They turn it into something totally different. Okay. Exactly. Or someone that likes to read a lot, that's a researcher, so, they don't look at it and try to categorize and help people understand what those skills are.
Love that.
So that's something that we have to get better at. And I don't know how we do that, but that's something we have to get better at for our young people.
Got it. Because what we're actually going to talk about too, real quick, Zarina, is music memory lane and how music can help us. So can you tell us a little bit about music memory lane, please?
Yes. Okay. Gladly. So this is my opportunity to show you what I've learned from you, Laura. My sound bite. So Music Memory Lane is a nonprofit organization that my family and I started. And the mission is to restore joy and dignity and happiness with seniors, particularly those with memory loss or dementia, through music and movement. So it's the combination, we play their jams.
Looking for therapeutic programs your residents will love? Music Memory Lane blends nostalgia, movement, and joy. Perfect for senior living and memory care. Book your free demo today. Music Memory Lane, where memories dance.
That always makes me so happy.
That's a little 15-second little promo spot. And so we play music like from the 50s, Elvis, the Beatles, the Supremes, Duke Ellington, the Platters, these really awesome songs, Chuck Berry. And it's so interesting how some of the residents at the assisted living locations, they may not even remember their name, even, you know. But
Look at that's good.
yeah. This person here is 92 years old. He loves to dance.
You
See,
know what
that's
I love too, Sabrina? It's like music has no color. You know what I mean?
it
Like
really
his
does.
race. You know what I mean? He hears that music, he hears the movement, and they just get up and dance, and they love it.
Yes, the
Mhm.
rhythm and the whatever the scientific explanation of it is, you know, the different chords and harmonies and such. Um, when we combine the two, which is something that we do while we're, you know, younger like this, you know, go dancing and have so much fun, it's the combination of hearing the music, you know, singing the music and talking about memories, but with the dancing, because remembering like the, you know, swing dancing or jitterbug or whatever the Lindy Hop, you know, just different names of the type of dancing, you know, up to the, you know, the bump or whatever, the robot, you
I
know,
was gonna say that. You read my mind. I don't even know how you read my mind just
I was gonna
then.
say the robot, yeah, the moonwalk, whatever, you know, that uses a different part of our brain too. So Music Memory Lane is growing. We're in the building stage, and the connection between Music Memory Lane and the Flashback Squad is just exercising, going down memory lane and remembering these things in our life, especially in entertainment and iconic moments like remembering where we were when certain things happened or when a song came on the radio, those types of things. So plus a few more things. But we'll, as we develop, we're going to be revealing more of these programming ideas and such as we continue with the Flashback Squad.
You.
That sounds great. Yeah, that sounds great. But because you know, music is just does so many things for you. I can't even begin to tell you. I was listening to the anthem. I can't think of the name of the artist now, but it's a choral anthem, and it's just so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely powerful. But then I was also listening to Donny Hathaway's "For All We Know." Oh my God, it's
Uh,
just so beautiful, so beautiful.
yeah, and you know what? One that really gets me a lot is Sam Cooke, "A Change Gonna."
Yep, the change is gonna come. Yeah, that's one that I sing
It's such a mixture.
in
It's
the
like
King
it's
event.
sad, but it's happy too. It's hard to explain.
Yep,
Whew.
yep, the
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
change is
But
gonna come.
I just, and Laura, I want to tell you again, thank you for performing the Lord's Prayer at my father's memorial.
Yeah, you're
Oh.
welcome.
Yes,
Yeah,
Laura helped me
yeah.
plan that too, because you know
Oh.
I practice Buddhism, and my father also, you know, we both grew up Baptist, also practiced Buddhism. So it was an interfaith memorial. So we went back and forth between Christian um,
Practices.
practices. Okay, yeah, Christian practices and Buddhist practices, and it was
I
really
love
it
that.
was.
Yeah, very
And then
nice.
he
Yeah.
played jazz, and so the repast was full of jazz music, and even and Herbie Hancock spoke, and Ron
Hmm.
Glass spoke, and but
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
it's when I look at the DVD, it's like it was just it was I had I just had a good time planning it because I got to talk to all, you know, all your family. You know, they say family comes together at weddings and funerals,
Yeah.
and then his friends and coworkers. It just was really it was a moving, touching experience. And thank you so much, Laura, for being a part of it. She kicked it off too, so she
Oh,
in the memorial.
thank you.
Yeah, so music it does a lot of things, and you know we don't have to go into the scientific data right now, but we do, you know, part of like you were saying, being prepared and having a purpose, Laura,
Hmm.
is covering all the bases with the data to get the grants and get the funding.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah.
that's something that we all have to, you know, make sure we stay on top of and do our homework.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Especially in these times, it's even harder now in these times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Where
So
where the
you grew up in Oakland, right? Did you grow up
yes,
in Oakland?
yep.
And what
Grew up
kind
in
of music
Oakland.
was playing in your house when you were growing up?
Oh, girl, everything was playing in our house. Are you kidding? Because I'm the last of eight, so
Wow.
everything from barefooting to Sam Cooke to the Dells to Temptations, I mean everything you can imagine. Because remember I was musical, so I was musical in church. I started formal study in the seventh grade at UC Berkeley. So I was doing opera and arts, Italian art song, German lead. We were doing gospel. because Mighty Clouds of Joy were there. The Hawkins were in Oakland. So everything was there. Because my music teacher and influences, we were singing everything. My high school group was internationally known. We toured Southern California. We toured Europe. My junior and senior
What high
year.
school was that?
Castlemont High School. We were the Castleyear. Yeah.
And that's where Raphael Sadiq went. Got to put that in there.
That's where who?
Yes.
Raphael Sadiq of Tony.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
As a matter of fact, his sister, the sister of one of the ones in the group, couldn't stand me. Oh my God! And she was best friend. She was best friends with one of my friends because I was chosen to be the head cheerleader against my voice teachers. Against my voice teacher didn't know I gone out for that, and I had to go to. I think I went to Europe that summer, so I agreed to be co-chair. And she used to tease me because she said every time I did a yell, it sounded like I was singing it. So, but Sheila Wiggins couldn't stand me. Oh my God! And I couldn't stand her. She was loud. She's still loud. When we go to reunion, she's still she's the loudest thing in the room. She's a class clown. Okay. Oh Lord, I'm on. But what is Wiggins? I can't remember what her brother's name, but Wiggins. Dwayne? But he's in Dwayne. Yeah, Dwayne Wiggins.
Yeah, he just recently passed away. I think.
Recently passed away. Yeah. But yeah, Raphael Sadiq and what was the name of the group? Tony. Yeah.
Tony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just say something really funny? We're just doing this. So, there's those smooth jazz renditions, right? And so the anniversary,
right?
And so I was doing something with Michael when he came home from school, and I said, "Do you know what today is?" He said, "Today is Tuesday." I was like, "Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, today is Tuesday." I said, I was singing a song. Do you know what today is? Anyway, one day I'll play the song for him, and I'm like, "You said today's
Tuesday."
I don't know the song though.
You know it when you hear it. It's the anniversary.
It's my anniversary. Yeah. Okay. It's my anniversary. Yeah.
It's our anniversary. When you hear it, you'll know it. Yeah.
I'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there a song, just one song, Laura, real quick, that takes you back to those? And if there is one song, can you sing a few lines?
A song that takes me back.
Yeah, to a particular, happy memory.
To a happy memory or something that, just makes you happy.
Well, I don't know that it takes me back because most of the songs that takes me back are all classical from that time. I'm trying to think. We did do Jesus Christ Superstar. Daryl Coley used to always. Daryl Coley used to always sing. He ain't heavy, he's my brother.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one that Daryl sang. He tore that song up. Let's see. Maybe I'll sing a little bit of that. I was gonna sing you the blessing. Let me just sing you this blessing. It's recent. It's not from back then. Okay. But I'm gonna sing you this blessing. May the grace of God surround you. May his light direct your path. May his spirit lead and guide you as the weeks and months go past. And may your soul be blessed. And may your joy be full of the love that his light brings. As you obey his call, remember most of all, you're a child of the King. May the peace of the Lord go with you. May the peace of the Lord go with you. May his spirit rest within you to comfort and befriend you. He is right beside you to constantly remind you. You're a child of the King.
Oh, thank you so much for that beautiful blessing, Laura. Thank you.
Uplifting. Very uplifting.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Wow, that just gave me chills. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this time to flash back and go down memory lane.
You're so welcome. Sabrina, you have that question? Or do you want me to ask?
Oh,
I'll ask it then. I'll ask it.
okay.
Do
Okay.
you see, Laura, do you see a connection between music and cooking?
Oh, yes, definitely. Because music feeds the soul and the mind, and so does cooking.
Mm,
I
Ooh,
don't eat with people I don't like.
I've
Eating
heard that.
and sharing a meal is a spiritual and a communal thing for me. Um, Making food is a love offering. It's a
Mm,
love language for me. And I think in our upbringing, in our community, we may have been getting away from it, but it's always been a love language that feeds not just your body, but it feeds your soul. So how many times have you heard, "Come on in, child, let me get you something to eat,"
oh,
and you
yeah.
sit down at that table, and you're getting way more than nourishment for your body.
mhm,
You're just like, somebody loves me, and the harmony of those ingredients. Think about it. Good cooking is layered
Mm,
with flavors
mm.
that create a harmony of delicious, delicious, delicious taste,
Love that.
okay, that satisfy your soul, not just on a physical level, but on an aesthetic level. The same thing with music. You could put notes together that just touch your soul in a way
mhm,
that you can't even communicate it, and they're just simple notes. Or
mhm,
you can turn a singer can turn a note a certain way, and it just dips into your soul.
Yeah.
Okay, and to the point where you go, "Oh Lord." Okay, well
It's so true. It's
that's
so
the same
true.
thing with Mama's greens, right?
Yes.
It's
Or I've heard people
true.
say that about my teacakes. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
So yes, I do believe that both deliver more than what you see on the written page, or more than what you see in the pots. They
Yes.
deliver something way more. So
And I
yes,
Mm,
gotta
I
get
do
those
believe
tea cakes. I gotta get those tea
that.
cakes.
yes. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And that's why,
yeah.
but about the oatmeal cookies, it's like you take your first bite and it tastes yummy, but then it has a like little after flavor too, like a little
Yeah, because I put spices in mine. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Jerry spicy oatmeal cookies. Yeah,
Yum
yeah. And it's
yum.
just like you said, when the people hear that music and they have to get up. That
Mm-hmm.
music makes them want to get up. That music resonates something far, far beyond what anybody talking to them, because it goes into the memory, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now, but I know it resonates with something that I did before. Let me get up and shake this out."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to see and experience, and it's very heartwarming. It really is.
Hmm.
Some of them are not even verbal anymore either.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Yep.
they'll be, I'm looking at them right in the eyes and smiling and singing, and they may, just see, I'll see like a little smile, and they may start tapping their foot a little bit.
Hmm.
So I know that I'm reaching them. So
Mm,
Yep.
it's,
I've walked into places, and the white folks are like, "Okay, what you doing there?" And I'll be sitting there, and I'll start humming or singing. Next
mhm,
thing they're like, "Oh," and they start talking. Music is the only equalizer.
mm,
mhm,
I mean, I have had white people just do a total turn when they hear me singing,
mm,
mhm.
because it just takes race, it takes all of that out, because
Exactly.
it just removes everything.
Because it
Okay,
touches the soul. It touches the
yeah,
soul in your spirit.
yep,
the inside
yep,
of it. Yeah.
yep,
Mm.
yep. And I'm like, so it takes all that for you to forget the color, okay? But, but yeah, I mean, they just get so, their armor just gets stripped away.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It just pierces.
It does.
It pierces the darkness.
It
Mm.
does.
It really does. Which is why I always tell people, be careful what your children listen to,
Oh, for
because
Mhm.
sure.
just like the good stuff goes in, the bad stuff goes in too, because
Yeah.
Exactly.
it just drones stuff in. Yeah. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, there definitely is. I totally agree.
That's why
Yep.
we like to promote the oldies but goodies on this podcast.
Yep.
So now it's time for our favorite part, the flashback question. So, Laura, if you could step back in time and relive just one moment in your life where music played a pivotal role, what would it be and why?
Where music played a pivotal role, and why? It would probably be maybe when I auditioned at USC.
Okay.
And I would say it would be when I auditioned at USC, and my teacher flew down with me for the audition, and I was so nervous, but they asked for every piece that I had, and that was significant for me because of the fact that that they asked for every audition piece, and that my teacher flew down. He didn't trust for anybody else to play for me but me. So that would be probably.
What were you
Probably
auditioning for, though? Was it for the
oh,
chorus, for a
oh
drama?
no, to audition to get into the School of Music. It was
Oh,
my college application, my college admissions.
So you could get accepted into the school overall,
without
but you have to
right
be also accepted into the certain
to
program.
to School of Music. Yeah, right,
was it
right.
like on the what is the show, Sabrina? You guys, what was the show with Debbie Allen? What is the
Oh,
show?
Fame?
Yes, Fame. So was it like those auditions you see on Fame or Flashdance, where it's a group of people and they're all staring at you with
Well,
like
it's just
blank
it was the chair of the department and one other person in the room in a small room with the piano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not public like you see on TV.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, no, it's the chair and one other person, and you get in there and you sing. And so if they only let you do one song, it's like okay, but they asked for everything I had in the repertoire. So that was
Was your heart beating
so that
hard and fast?
so they had so we had the Porgy and Bess, My Man's Gone Now, and then we had the German art songs and the German lead rather, and the Italian art songs, and then spirituals. So we had everything. Yeah.
We will skip to the flashback, the rapid fire round questions, which is where we're going to ask you this or that, and you just say the first thing off the top of your head without thinking about too hard. And
Okay.
Sabrina's going to ask you the first 5. I'll ask you the last 5. So let's get
Okay.
started, Sabrina.
Okie dokie. All right, you ready? Here we
Yeah.
go. Okay, a live concert or a studio recording?
Live concert.
Stevie Wonder or the Clark Sisters?
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Yay.
USC game day or opening night at the theater?
Opening night theater.
Okay. Okay, behind the scenes or center stage?
Center stage.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that one. Okay, strategy meeting or live event execution?
Strategy meeting.
Okay. Negotiation room or red carpet?
Negotiation room.
Big corporate campaign or grassroots initiative?
Corporate campaign.
Okay. Planned program or last minute pivot?
Planned program.
80s music or 90s music?
80s.
Okay. Me too. Legacy or impact?
Legacy.
Okay. You're a mentor. Sabrina's a mentor. Do you have a mentor that guided you?
I had mothers.
Oh.
I had my mother. I had 2 adopted mothers, Osceola Michael and Eloise Coleman.
Oh, I love
those were my mentors.
I love that. I love that. And then there's one more quick thing that just because it's so interesting, and Sabrina mentioned it, but we don't know if it's okay to talk about, and if it's not, we will totally not have it in. But she said that you had a wonderful opportunity with the wonderful Stevie Wonder.
Yes, I did, and I chose to go on my honeymoon.
Oh,
and not go on tour. So that was a big life-changing decision. The other big life-changing decision was to not pursue the operatic stage and to stay married. And I felt that if I pursued the operatic stage, I would lose my culture. Because in order to be successful, if you look at all the Black divas, they have to literally make themselves a blank canvas and then hope to get their culture back after their success. Is my opinion. And most of them are married to white people or European people. And so their culture is totally different. And I wasn't willing to lose my culture, to run the risk of losing my culture. I certainly would have lost my husband because he's the type of Black man that would not have gone for long separations or gone for, the kind of training that you'd have to do for opera. But my teacher wanted me to go to New York and to pursue the operatic stage. And I made a decision not to.
And then for the honeymoon one, where did you guys go? Since you chose the honeymoon over Stevie Wonder,
we ended up going to Detroit and Canada.
Oh,
Detroit,
okay.
he was from Detroit, and then we went to Toronto. You know,
So do you
but
ever regret that decision? Not because, well, when you look back at it, do you wish?
I don't regret it. I don't regret it, but I do wonder
Mhm.
what my life would have been like if I had made that decision. I had a couple of interesting decisions music wise that I chose not to go into life because either a proliferation of drugs, proliferation of
Yeah.
free sex. You know, they're just things that I wasn't willing to do, and you know, I paid the price for not being willing to do those things. You know, but it was like, you know, I got the call. I did the audition and got the call for Stevie on the Saturday, the Friday before my wedding. So
Oh,
you know, and then it was like, okay, you need to be we're leaving on Monday, so I would have got back to LA because I got married in Oakland on Sunday. You know, so it just, you know, it's like I had to make a decision.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
the timing.
was just a little bit off. Yeah. But I remember my grandmother, she used to talk about Marian Anderson and Leontine
Hmm.
Price and those
All my
women,
idols.
yeah,
Hmm.
those rich contralto voices, you know.
Yep. Yeah, Grace Bumbry, Mary Grist, it's all of them. But if you look at their lives, you know, in Europe, you know, they have European or white husbands. You know, they don't come back to the Black culture till the end of their careers, and
Yeah,
then even then, it's not really. They're really not. You know, they're held up as the first or the this or whatever, but they really aren't connected to the Black community. And
yeah.
Yeah,
I
That's a
wasn't willing to do that.
we could have a
that,
whole another podcast on
that's about that. I
that kind
know.
of thing. Yeah. But we
And I love them. I love them all. I love them all. It just wasn't the path for me.
Exactly. So, Laura, this was so powerful, and we just love that you came on our show, and we just feel honored and blessed. And your story, your resilience, and your willingness to start again, it's something that people really need to hear. So, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
And thank you for letting me share. I appreciate it.
yes, absolutely. We appreciate you. You know, I appreciate you with my whole soul and life. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you. So, but our conversation here is one that is going to stay with me, and I hope it's going to stay with the audience as well. And it will remind us that it is never too late to choose yourself.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Huh? So, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, because that's the way you'll see more of us.
Yes, thank
Mhm.
you for doing that. Please, we are looking forward to some comments and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time.
Right here on the Flashback Squad.
And we'll catch you on
Catch
the
you on the
rewind.
rewind.